Hello YouTube, Slate Warrior here with another new card discussion, and today the topic of discussion is Beautunaful Princess. Beautunaful Princess is a new card that just came out in Primal Origin over here in the TCG, and the thing about Beautunaful Princess that has been going around is that it is a similar card to Lonefire Blossom. It is being compared to Lonefire Blossom in the way that its effect is going to be handled for the decks that play it, and I hate to break it to you, fish type players, but you're not gonna get anything close to the production that Lonefire Blossom does for plants in this monster right here. Alright, so let's just go over the two effects. Beautunaful Princess is a level 1 water attribute fish effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. Its effect reads: when this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish this card, special summon one level 4 or lower fish type monster from your deck, except Beautunaful Princess. You can only use this effect of Beautunaful Princess once per turn. And the card that is being compared to is Lonefire Blossom, a much more commonly known card because it's been out for a while. It was a big part of the plant decks, the plant synchro. It's Gigaplant, Gigavise. It is a level 3 fire attribute plant type effect monster with 500 attack and 1400 defense, which reads: once per turn you contribute one face up plant type monster, special summon one plant type monster from your deck. Alright, so the similarities between the two cards: they're both low leveled and part of a type that isn't very well supported right now. I mean, I guess plants have the Sylvans now, but before Sylvans there wasn't really a dominant plant archetype, like a plant archetype that you say that is an archetype that Konami is supporting. Like, there's a fish archetype right now. The only fish archetype we have is really sharks. That's the only purely fish archetype. So we've got these cards that are supposed to be versatile in that they can summon a lot of monsters that you wouldn't normally see because there aren't very conventional means of summoning plant type monsters like Gigaplant. So let's just see what we can do with their effects here, okay? The similarities is that you special summon from the deck. Both of them special summon only from the deck, alright? And you have to get rid of a monster on your side of the field as cost to special summon another monster from your deck. So for Beautunaful Princess, it has to be Beautunaful Princess and it gets banished. But for Lonefire Blossom, it has to be any plant and it just goes to the graveyard, it just gets tributed. So I mean, that's a huge difference there because of course the graveyard is much more like usable, especially in plants with their miracle fertilizers. So Beautunaful Princess gets banished, you probably won't get that Beautunaful Princess back. Plus the worst part about this card is that it says you can only use this effect of Beautunaful Princess once per turn. It doesn't say just once per turn like Lonefire Blossom. So if you were to regenerate your Beautunaful Princess, you would not be able to revive it and then use its effect again to get another fish. So I mean, Lonefire Blossom just gets completely abused in plant decks because you can just keep bringing it back and tributing it off. You don't even have to tribute it. You can tribute another plant type monster and then save your Lonefire Blossom's effect again for next turn. Plus, since it's at 2 now, we can just use 2 of them in the same turn. Unlike Beautunaful Princess, if we had 2 copies of it, if it's normal or special summoned, you can only use it once per turn. The effect of its name. So you can't have 2 Beautunaful Princesses and activate both of their effects in the same turn. You guys know I don't like that clause. So the other thing with Lonefire Blossom is that it can do any plant type monster. Like, Beautunaful Princess can only do the fish type monsters that are level 4 or lower, and Lonefire Blossom, I mean, sometimes it will go for your Dandylions, your Spores, your copy plants, but I mean, oftentimes it goes for your big monsters like your Hermitrees, like I said before, your Gigaplants, cards, your Sagequioas, the new Sylvan. So I just have some examples down here. This is just a lot of plant type normal monsters, but I just wanted to emphasize that if you were playing Lonefire Blossom, you could go into of course any of these from your deck. But if you were playing Beautunaful Princess, let's just say somebody used DNA Surgery on your deck and everything in your deck became a fish. Alright, so let's just say you banished your Beautunaful Princess. Now look at all the cards that are just here. This is just a whole bunch of random plant type normal monsters that I thought looked like the same. They have like the same sort of picture. Look at how many of them are not level 4 or lower. Look at that. I know this is like completely irrelevant to the comparison of the two of them, but I just thought it was interesting that it's level 4 or lower, and this is just how many more things Lonefire Blossom can summon. Look, we got a level 5 right there in Trent. A lot of these are weak, but we have the level 5 over here in Queen of Autumn Leaves. By the way, this is just kind of a little interesting tidbit. 1800 attack is the most attack for a plant type normal monster of any level. So I'm just pointing out, level 4 lower, there's a lot of sharks that are level 5, and sharks is probably the only deck that's going to play this. I mean, there aren't very many other decks that play fishes. I'm pretty sure there's a mermail fish that they play in their core, but I'm not sure they'd need it for Beautiful Princess. I mean, I think it gets an effect when special summoned, or normal or special summoned, I think, is the mermail card that is a fish. I forget what its name is, but it's one of the level 4 ones. So you'd banish your Beautiful Princess. If you're playing Mermails, banish your Beautiful Princess, bring out the other one, and you get its effect. But is it really worth it? Because you just used up your normal summon for the turn. I don't know. Maybe Mermails will play this. Maybe I'm crazy. I hate Mermails. I don't play them. But do you guys think that the two of these cards are comparable in any way? I mean, they get a monster from the deck of a type. That's it. That's the only thing that they have that's a similarity. Not to mention, this one can actually attack. This one has 0 attack. I mean, I don't see a point where you'd summon a Lonefire Blossom and attack for game, but it's a possibility. So, do you think that it matters that Beautiful Princess can only banish itself? Do you think it matters that it can get banished? I know it matters that it gets banished because you guys have used the hell out of Lonefire Blossoms, but do you think it matters that it has to be level 4 or lower? I really don't think these cards are that similar. Oh yeah, the last thing is this happens on summons. That's actually a little bit of an advantage because if they Solemn Warning your if they Solemn Warning your Beautiful Princess, it doesn't work either, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to trigger this effect. I mean, what's the term? You know what I mean? Not trigger, but, when you activate it, when it's not in response to anything, when the turn player decides to activate the effect, oh man, I forget what it's called, but ignition, that's what it's called. It's an ignition effect. This one's a summon effect, so it's, it happens when it gets summoned and only when it gets normal or special summoned. Do you think that matters? Do you think that makes Beautiful Princess a little bit better? That's the only thing I could think of because, you could, if it gets Bottomless, I don't know. I don't even know how that's going to work. I'm not good at Yu-Gi-Oh! In any way. I guess it can't get Bottomless. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So, do you think the fact that Beautiful Princess gets its effect when it's normal or special summoned is going to matter? Do you think that makes it a little bit better than Lonefire Blossom? I know it doesn't, but do you think it boosts it up a little bit? Okay, tell me in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this card in the meta, if it's going to be played in Mermails or Sharks or any other deck that plays level 4 lower fishes. And do you think Lonefire Blossom is really, really good? Do you think it's really, really way better than Beautiful Princess? Do you think if Lonefire Blossom had the same restrictions as Beautiful Princess that it wouldn't be played at all? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. And tell me, you guys, if you have any ideas on how to use Beautiful Princess effectively. Alright. I will see you later, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this.